Today is an event within a much broader goal of civic engagement. Our civic engagement goal has three components to it. One is the individual volunteerism that we encourage. Secondly is the integration of service learning into our teaching curriculum. And the third component of our civic engagement goal is an event like today, how we use this institution to engage our community and talk about how important service is.
How often do you get to be part of something that has such wide fingers out into what's going on in the world? Lifelong learning, get people excited about the world they live in, not to just sort of think, well, I finished the formal education, now all I have to do is grow old and not get in trouble and leave enough money to my kids. Sorry, but I'm not into that.
I first became involved in thinking we should lower the voting age before the war in Vietnam. To me, you shouldn't have to be shot at in order to be qualified as a citizen to vote. I'm getting hot under the collar here.
Really from my parents, the importance of being involved, being engaged in government, in politics, no matter at what level, it was very, very important. You have the responsibility as a citizen to participate, and that came from my folks.
She turned to me one evening and she said, "Alan, your staff is gone. You have no staff. They are not here, and I am not one of your staff." And I tell you, that changes the whole complexion of marriage. But there's biblical precedent for that. Right there in the good book, it says Jacob died leaning on his staff.
I wish all of you the opportunity to have your resume read right before somebody like Senator McGovern. Thanks for that, sir.
There's never been a day in my life that I wouldn't forfeit that life in defense of this country. Never.
It's why I'll never be a cynic. You know, this country, it's another Clintonism. He used to say, if you ever see a turtle on a fence post, you know one thing, he didn't get there on his own. You know? Somebody had to put him there. Well, it's something I want, like I teach at Georgetown, and I want my children, my students to understand. This is a miracle. This could never have happened. And Obama does such a good job of that. He could never, his story, as he says, could never exist in any other country.
Although, ladies and gentlemen, let's just put it on the table here. Race is still a problem in this country. I wish we were there. We all wish we were there. So that's not a factor. It is a factor, and it shows up. Now, it could be something else.
What a birthday celebration. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, you know, Mrs. Goodwin, it's so nice for you to come to my birthday party here.
He went to Dirksen and he said, "Dirksen, if you come with me on this bill and you bring the Republicans to break that filibuster, NAACP will be flying your banner in 99 years. And finally he said to Dirksen, "If you come with me on this bill, 200 years from now, school children will know only two names, Abraham Lincoln and Everett Dirksen."
They told us at 10:45 in our ears that they were going to call the election for Obama at 11. And so I had smuggled my cell phone onto the set. So in the next break, I called my mom and dad. My dad was very ill, but he was still with us and still had his wits. And my mom and I, just to get to tell them that Barack Obama had been elected president was just one of the most special moments of my life.
I still don't think that we should be delegating our compassion to government and thinking that we pay our taxes and therefore that's it. We still have a responsibility to give back. That's why I love the fact that the programs here are so focused on community outreach and all those things which are absolutely essential in what we're doing.
George and I are proud of the work our girls are doing, and we're happy to be back home in Texas. George is busy writing his memoir and working on the plans for the Bush Presidential Center that will be at SMU. And as for me, it's come to this. This is the Laura Bush bobblehead doll.
I believe that people vote as to whether or not they want to organize. And I think you got to I think you got to carry the vote before you organize. I think that's true of any union and you elect the leaders of the union.
Not in government
Okay,
unions.
all right. Okay. We'll just, so they just
You can
vote. They don't take a
disagree,
vote that
but
they want to beat, that they want to
that's
organize.
correct.
Okay.
That
all right.
they
I
don't.
stand corrected.
Well, good.
I stand corrected.
Civility is the oxygen that democracy requires, or else it will suffocate and die, as we will, unless you take it back.
Because the way district lines are drawn now, you don't have a general election. You have a safe seat, and the only thing that you can get in trouble for is not being conservative enough as a Republican or liberal enough as a Democrat.
Partisanship is wholesome. People have different political sensibilities. They cluster. We call the clusters parties. We have arguments and we settle elections. It gives weight to our democracy.
I'm just the troublemaker here, the catalyst, trying to generate a conversation about what it is that we need to do. And it seems to me very, very strongly that what we need to do is to find a big idea that can move this country, that everybody can sign on to.
We don't just exist in life because we do one thing well, or we have an education, that's everything, or that we're religious and that's going to do everything. It's all intertwined. And I believe what they do here at Ivy Tech Bloomington is a living example.
I proudly hand it over to her, and I am so excited for her, and I'm so pleased, and congratulations, Jenny, and thank you. But I remember having this conversation with leaders of the college who said, why are you doing that? You know, you're putting resources into this Ivy Arts for Kids program for kids who are 4 to 11 years of age. And I said, well, we've got the college attainment rate of 60% by 2025. Yeah, and that's what we should be working on. And I said, yeah, they're in the second grade. They're in the second grade. The graduates of the year 2025, when we started those programs, are in the second grade. And I said, I know where they are. They're in Fairview, and they're in Templeton, and they're in the schools with the highest free and reduced lunch rate.
I went back to my beautiful office in the northwest corner of the White House and sat there saying, what in the name of heaven was that all about? And then it hit me. It was something I knew all along, but he reinforced it to me that day, and I practiced for the rest of my career. What he was saying to me was, Colin, you know, I love you, and I'll sit here for as long as you want me to, as you tell me about your problem. But until I have a problem, I'm watching the squirrels in the rose garden.
We're in a dangerous fix. And the more people that leave this place thinking of others and how this whole thing called humans work, better. Your money cannot go to a better place. It's got to be like this, ladies and gentlemen. We can't go back to that monstrous history. The American century isn't over yet. The American Revolution isn't over yet. You can be American revolutionaries. Great stuff happens here.
I think this applies to really anyone who's at a juncture in their life when they're trying to figure out what they do, you know, that's more meaningful, or how they feel more connected to a larger mission. And I say, when you're in that moment where you know that you have to take a leap and your heart is pushing you towards it, you just have to do it. And that's true in your careers, it's true in your relationships, it's true in your values. And that was really the leap for me, leaving McKinsey, moving to New York, and building out the Malala Fund.
We are, in short, I think, entering the era of the citizen. An era when citizens must lead the way of renewal, reinvigoration, and reformation. And the importance and relevance of the citizen in this country increases every day.
We believe very deeply that if 90% plus of our students want to stay and work and live in South Central Indiana, and they have the same dreams and aspirations that everybody in this room does. They want to raise their families. They want to have a good job. They want to own homes. They want to contribute back to their local economy. If they leave us and have a commitment to community service, if they leave us and believe they owe something back to their communities, then that's a goal worth striving for as far as we're concerned.